I wish that then I would have appreciated more things. I wish I would have appreciated myself more, my look more, that raw talent that wasn't so jaded and tainted with the ridicule from other people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Even that early.
well, yeah, that early, I was still in that good place where artists are, where we are when we just start getting a little bit known, and we're thinking, oh, I'm just about to do what I love and make people happy, and then before all of the other stuff comes in, you know what I'm saying? For label stuff, or you know, and remember, social media was just beginning when I started. So I was like everybody. I was a lot of people's guinea pig. I was one of the first people to be shitted on the internet, on social media, like non-fucking stop. Every day I would go on, and it was some new story, made up story, or bad picture, or it wasn't acceptable to have surgery at all or anything. Even though, and at that time, I had never had surgery. I had ass shots, which till this day I realize, even what I did, and even with me not consulting with anyone to do something like that, how insane that was. Like, it's not that you go to a doctor, a professional person. No, it's some random person.
Yeah, shorty in the Bronx.
Comes in. I was in Atlanta
Queens.
at the time. And actually what happened was I kept on being around Wayne and them. And at that time, Wayne, he always talking about big booties and all. Wayne would have like a new chick in the studio every session. So it was always a new big booty.
Creative support. That's what I like to call that.
A new big booty there.
A muse.
Right. Actually, yes. Actually, it was. They were his muses.
You like to look to the side and see something with some ass sitting there while you're trying to come up with a line.
That's right. And yes, I want to make sure I don't downplay those women, because they have a big part in the journey of a rapper's career. You know what I'm saying? Because when they are out there, they would give him that fuel. Them smiling, them listening. He would do stuff and then just see organically what they would respond to, right? All of those things. So they were his muses, but I just was around them all the time, and I was like sister. I was like the little sister with Wayne and Mac and all these boys, J Mills and Gutta and all of them, and all I would hear them talking about is big butts. And I didn't feel complete or good enough, good as those girls, because I'm like, oh my God, this is what you're supposed to look like in the rap culture, and I don't look like that. And now.
But that was you telling yourself that, and not anyone else saying that to you.
No, yeah, they never told me that. Well, no, I'm lying. I think they said stuff sometimes jokingly.
Jokingly.
But to a young girl or up and coming rapper or anything like that, when it's from someone like Lil Wayne, it matters, so even if they're joking, they don't know that the person that is there in that room with them is not finding it funny. They're thinking that, and now that I'm older, I understand. Sometimes you'll say something in front of someone and you're thinking that they know that they're pretty, or they know that they're smart, or they know that they're talented or whatever. You're thinking that this is what this person thinks about themselves, so you'll say certain things around them or to them. But a lot of times you don't know how insecure a person is or what their insecurities are. So when you say certain things, if around women especially, you can never take them back. You know what I'm saying? So where they might have been playing with me, probably thinking, oh, she's confident, she's good in her own skin, da 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 da. They don't know probably that I always had that insecurity. So they're just joking. They didn't mean any harm, but it wasn't a joke to me. You know, I was laughing, but I didn't find it funny.
And that was the experience then. I ask because today it almost seems like there is a female rapper starter kit.
Thank you.
That you have to have before you come in.
Absolutely.
I try to stay out of women's business, but
it's rappers' business.
And that's the thing. So what do you think about even the evolution of that? From it being a joking thing to Wayne saying it to you to now would be like, all right, we can't even, it don't matter that you can spit. It don't matter that you look great, you feel great. For us to back you, you gotta.
You know what it is, Joe? I don't think it's the men really anymore, especially. I think it's the women. I think it's the girls, what their perception of a female rapper is. And they think this is what I have to look like. You know, like I remember I would never see any female rapper wearing pink hair. Pink hair became a part of that starter kit. Every female rapper will put on a pink wig at some point. And I remember that was just the Nicki Minaj thing. That's why when I said pink wig, thick ass, it was, oh, that's a iconic Nicki Minaj line because that's what she wears. Now it's everybody. Pink wig, thick ass, right?
Do you hold yourself accountable for any of it?
Yes. And I used to say, well, because I was one of the first people saying, oh, I'm not these people's parents. But now I get it. I look at it from a different perspective now because superstars inadvertently become role models, no matter what. You can be the weirdest druggie in the world. If they like your music, they're listening to it over and over and over. It's programming. And they might try some of those things they hear you talk about. I remember I had a conversation with Future one time in the studio. And he said something that I will never forget. And he laughed while he said it. He was like, yeah, you know, people be thinking I do people be thinking I'm really doing a lot of drugs because I rap about it all the time. But they don't even be knowing I'm a lightweight. I said, in my head. Because there are a lot of people that are huge Future fans, for instance. And that's how they're going to feel closer to him because they're doing what they're hearing him rap about. Not knowing that he ain't
on it like that.
Not like that, no. So that's why it's important. But you can't fault an artist. See, that's the thing. Just because you say you are a role model doesn't mean you're telling someone you're bad. Even though we are role models, it's like, how can you tell a rapper you're bad because you rap about that? And you didn't clarify in your music what drugs or how much drugs or what, it's art. That would really, and I want to stress this because I know right now they're in court talking about how, their
lyrics
right.
And their impact. Can we use them?
That's insane. Could you imagine if we held film directors accountable for all the fucking murders they put in their movies?
And actors.
Can you imagine? And the director of the movie, and who actually wrote that line right here in this? Because whoever wrote that, what?
Okay, I'll offer some pushback.
Okay.
If Bruce Willis goes and kills 50 people in a movie, no one says a word. The second that he does it in real life, we might have to go back and look at that movie and make it applicable in court. No?
But we wouldn't. Rap is the only genre of music, first of all, in my opinion. Rap is the only culture that from the beginning of time has been vilified. Like, from the very beginning, we have been treated like the bad guy. We have.
Well, we were the stepchild since inception. Fact.
Yeah. So they've been blaming us for stuff forever, since the beginning. So it's not like It's not like they do that to actors. It would be different if y'all always pointing a finger at actors, and then Bruce Willis does something, and then we say, oh, see what he was doing in his movie. No, Bruce Willis doesn't wear a target on his back every day as an actor. No, rappers do. They look at us where we're from. We can't help where we're from. We can't help that we are from the hood and we didn't have anything and we had to do certain things to get money. We can't help that. I'm sure Bruce Willis probably didn't have to do those things. So he's looked at as more as a law-abiding citizen. So our minds won't even go there. If he was to go to a court for something like that, they wouldn't even bring up his movies.
Because he gets to go be Bruce Willis when he goes home, and you don't get to go be Onika.
Right.
I understand.
Right. We're held to a different level of judgment. We just, from the beginning of time, we always have been. So I don't think they would ever bring up any movies that these, especially the white actors, do. Now, maybe a 50 Cent show or a movie, maybe they would do it to them. I think it's just about the culture. I think it's just about our culture. I think even if it was a black movie, sometimes they would do the same thing. I just don't think any culture that's predominantly white ever deals with that.
Are you aware Eric Adams, the New York mayor?
Oh, and about drill music?
Yeah. He said his son let him hear something and said, hey, this is dangerous shit. And then he went on the news and said this needs to be abolished or something of the sort. And then all the drill rappers responded. But yeah, Eric Adams thinks that drill music is a threat and it's the reason that New York City crime is increased.
Shame on him. Shame on him.
And shouldn't somebody else educate him outside of his child?
God.
And shouldn't he spend more time on educating himself than just speaking about it the very next day?
Well, I think that, and what you just said, if we even just start looking at that, why is he doing that? The reason why he's probably doing that is to point the finger. Oh, hey, if anybody ever looks at my record as, mayor and whatever, it's this drill music. That's what it is. Let's get this out of here. What? Well, drill music wasn't around in the 80s when everything was, why they had to do the Just Say No campaign and all this stuff when it was all this drugs and murder rate crazy skyrocketing. Was drill music there, Mr. Adams? No. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I think they blame rap music in the 80s too, though.
Oh my God. But they didn't blame rock stars, rock and roll. Rock and roll has been at the front of doing, partying for a very long time. Drugs, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right?
Synonymous.
But when you see one of these white rock stars, our minds don't go on crime and drugs and all this bad stuff. Why?
It's a different image. It's different treatment. Like I was about to ask you about just longevity in rap as a woman. But when you think of rock and rollers and you think longevity is what, 50, 60 years?
That's right.
You've been around how long now?
Well, I guess since, technically 2007. Technically 2007. So.
Do you feel the weight of being tasked with adding to what longevity as a woman in hip hop looks like today?
Of course.
Like, cause you're basically like I don't want to say the blueprint, but that's where we are now. We had Kim who had a run, we had Foxy who had a run, Lauren had a run, Missy had a run. Today though, you just kind of get to run and create and do as you please. It's a different era, it's a different time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there pressure that comes with it?
Of course. Because in the very beginning of my career, I would always say in interviews that I don't feel that female rappers were given their just due in terms of on a long-term spectrum. Like, in my opinion, how they, in my opinion, the female rappers before me, I would always say they should have retired as moguls, right? Like big, huge moguls. And I would say, why isn't there a female version of Jay-Z, who at that time, even when I was coming in, we could see that he was on moguls, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to do that. And even what I've done, I haven't done what I want to do, what I need to do, what I will do yet. I know it because I'm talking about full out mogul. But did they have the opportunities? Did they have the same opportunities? That's like so many rappers at that time. Some of the biggest rappers, some of the most influential rappers, they've never made $1 million for a show. They've never made what they absolutely deserve based on the doors that they opened for others, based on their level of talent, their level of influence. They've never been rewarded for doing any of those things. And now they get to sit back and watch other artists who they know is not as talented as them, but just because of where we are with everything, with whether it's social media or rap being just the number one genre of music or whatever in the world, they have to now sit back. I know that can't be easy for them to watch, because now they have to watch that they can't send their grandchild, for instance, to college, whereas with all of the jewels that they gave to the culture, they should have been able to send their grandkids to college based on what they put into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't get that. So yes, it's always been my goal to show. You give everything away, you give it up. Like, can't go and see your parents all the time. You can't go and, there's so many things you just give up. You might not, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know what I mean? While everybody is enjoying their family and stuff like that. And then one day you wake up and years have gone by and people start to die. And then you look back and think to yourself, was it worth it?
Missing the moments.
Missing all these moments that you'll never get back. Like, I remember one of the most devastating things in my life was missing. My little brother was graduating from elementary school. And I just remember screaming at my mother, I can't believe you didn't tell me, that he was graduating. And she basically was like, oh, I didn't think it was a big deal to you. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, yes, that's a big deal to me. That was a big thing. And for him to look out in that audience and not see his big sister, I was like, I remember I was in Europe at the time, and I told her I would have rearranged and rerouted my whole tour to make sure I was there to see him graduate. But little by little, even your family, even your loved ones, they start thinking, oh, I'm not going to bother him with this. I'm not going to bother her with that.
Yeah.
Instead of realizing, no, those are the things I need.
These things are important to me.
Yes, it's important for you as a human being, as for your spirit, your soul, and as an artist. If you're not experiencing real life and real love and real heartfelt emotions, what are you writing about? And that's why everybody now is just writing about,
nothing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
A bunch of nothing, because that's why people always go back to like when an artist first came in, because we always have that hunger,
the most to say.
that pain, that this, because we're in it, we're in the moment. I have to remind myself now all the time, stay in the moment, get back in the moment. You just love the moment, come back to the moment. Because I'm always
ahead.
Yeah, like thinking about what's tomorrow, what's next week, what's this tomorrow. Okay. And there are magical things happening that I'm not experiencing. I'm there physically, but I'm not experiencing it because I'm not there.
How much time do you spend alone?
Well,
and that's got to be tough at this level.
I actually spend a lot of time alone. I love being alone, actually. I'm one of those people that I used to just love getting off a tour just so I could just be in my bedroom alone and watch TV and do whatever I wanted to do and just, you know. I've never been one of those people that needs to go out to the club and stuff like that, or be around other people. But I think it is important, you know, for me to try to do it. But to be honest, a lot. I mean, obviously my husband and my son, you know, are always there, you know, but